We're coming to you live from Calgary, Alberta in Canada. So wherever you are, welcome on board. Without much ado, it's been said that if you want to keep something away from the black man, the conventional wisdom is to put it in print. The notion here being that black people don't read. Now, we are here today to demystify those absolutes because a lot of us, by virtue of our upbringing, our intellectual pursuit, we want to show the world that that is not so. We've read a lot, we've thought a lot, and we're impacting a lot to the communities. And the person that I'm going to interview here today is a personification of what I'm talking about today. This person that I'm going to introduce to you today here is, he's written a book. He's written, a few books. And this is the one that we're showcasing today. His name is Oluwadele, and the last name is Bolu Tife.
Oluwadele is the last name.
Oluwadele is the last name, right? So Bolu Tife is the first name, and then Oluwadele is the last name. Good. We affectionately call him Bolu. So that is what the conventional wisdom is. Now, this is a man who, by dint of hard work and honesty of purpose, has traveled a lot. He's geographically very mobile, intellectually astute, and economically enterprising. He lives here in Calgary, in Alberta, with a eclectic background, gone through IT. I'm going to give him chance to explain himself to you. So, brother Bolu, welcome to Kasade Media.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be in the midst of my West African brothers here. Thank you.
Wonderful. He's written a very compelling book that we're going to dissect today. Now, looking at the book alone, the first cover, it says, one thing I've taken from that book, which is very catchy, these are thoughts of the village boy. Okay? Thoughts of a village boy. He calls himself a village boy, but I wouldn't subscribe to that. We're going into that. And when you look at the very first page, on the cover, it says, treatment becomes complicated when ignorance is combined with stupidity and garnished with arrogance. That alone is something that, is so magnetic. It pulls you into the... So the readers, let me welcome to the studio again, our brother Bolu. So before we, get into all this, discussions, give us a little background of who you are and how come that you are here today.
Thank you very much. That's very, very difficult thing for me to do. Well, I'm a village boy from Nigeria. I have a background in history, and history, I'm a teacher. I train as a teacher. Then I changed over to become a professional accountant. I practiced as a chartered accountant for a number of years. I also practice almost every aspect of accounting, taxation, business finance, auditing, internal and external. Then I'm also a corporate governance expert. I had a master's degree in corporate governance. Then I also moved now to public policy, which I have a master in public policy and administration, and I am still continuing in that regard. I'm a writer, I'm a teacher, like I said, I'm a trainer. Some people know me as an IT guy, some people know me as a trainer, but I think most people know me as an accountant.
Okay.
And but now I think I'm the village boy.
So it goes with the same thing that we were brought up with. You see, back in Africa, if your parents, they expect so much of you that if you don't become a lawyer, an accountant, a medical doctor, or engineer, you are nobody. So he's followed the same trajectory. Thank you so much for what you've done so far and how it's going to impact most of us. I read through your book for a few days here, and I was very, very impressed, to say the least.
Thank you very
because
much.
I write myself too as a freelance writer for in newspapers and what have you. And the level, the way you put words together. Personally, I'm hyperbolically addicted to the spoken word. And therefore, I like when I see a fellow, man or woman who also has this prolific pen that he can put thoughts on paper. And I was very impressed with the way you put, He comes with a, historical background, analyzing the analysis of how he does things, and his ability to compel us to be proactive in the way we do our thinking, and also the equitable nature of how he dispenses information. He's also teaching all of us as leaders of Africa to have this probity and accountability in how we do things. So, Brother Bolu, I said Bolu.
Call me the village boy.
The village boy, okay. The honorable village boy is in the studio. What motivated you to write this book?
Oh, I got that question again. Actually, I've been, like I said, even somewhere in the book, I started writing way back when I was in college. That was way back to 1983. I have this guy who was 2 years ahead of me, and almost every day, or at least twice a week, he will post an article on the notice board. And I was so captivated by it. I said, wow, I want to write. Mm-hmm. So I started, drafting an article in my head, but I was afraid to put it on paper. Then one day I just summoned courage. I tore my first notes. I tore about 6. I wrote. I couldn't even read it. I just took it to him and said, look, hey, this is my first draft. Just look at it. It was having his siesta. It's okay. Drop it for me. I will revert back to you later. And yes, he corrected them and say what I should be putting. I mean, they taught me some techniques about writing. I did the final copy. I was still not too sure. I didn't put my name. Mm-hmm. So I put, I said Periscope. I call it Periscope. So then when I posted it, I stood with the people there, the student reading it. I was listening to their comments. So I came that I was also a reader. So their comments kind of motivated me. So from then I kind of became literally unstoppable. So I also started posting article twice a week. So I called the other one the Law Echoes. So one day one student called to me and said, look, why are you disturbing our lives? We know you are the one, you are the Periscope, you are also the Law Echoes. Choose one. So I had to choose one. I study government. Actually, I offered government in secondary school when I was my final year, which is also very funny. I was a commercial student up to my class 4. That is a year. In those days, it used to be 5 years in secondary school. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I just 2 weeks to our ask. I said, look, I don't want to do commercial subject again. So I choose government, literature, and CRS, Christian Religious Studies, instead of accounting, business method, and commerce. And people told me, you are crazy. How can you start literature from 5? I said, why not? Mm-hmm. So I don't like people say I cannot do something. Mm-hmm. So I read like a mad guy. And I think that was the thing that I was again attracted to literary, literature as it were, so poem and all those things. Then the government, when we study all this system of government, the concept of egalitarian society came into play with me. Then afterwards, I went to study history and comparative religious studies. Then I read a lot about, commerce, about Karl Marx and all those stuff, and all the empires in Africa, the rise and fall of empires, as we used to call it then. Then I also read about all this uprising, Mao War, and all those mm-hmm. ones. So all those kind of things in me, I begin to have this feeling for my humanity to human. Then there's a particular book I read also that had a very profound influence on me, which is My Boy by Peter Abraham. I always noted there was this Zuma, who is the principal character in that book. Then one day his boss, a white man, called him and said, look, hey Zuma, think first as a man, then as a black man. So yes. So that kind of triggered the commonality of our humanity in us, irrespective of our color, the color of our skin. So because of that, it's okay. If then I read about French Revolution, how the literary elites it kind of trigger the movement for that revolution. So that gave me the idea about the power of the pen. So and I said, okay, it's not a case I want to boil the ocean, but let me contribute my only two quota, with the pen.
Yes.
So and that is what I've ever since I've always tried to do. But the luck I have is like I'm able to combine all this area of studies: history, government, literature, accounting. I'll be able to combine them together in my writing.
Yes. Yeah, it shows. It shows in the way you write.